All right, TexAgs Rewind. I'm Ryan Brunninger in the host chair for the fan show. Just the final hour as David and crew took off for Miami. Roy May, Matt Browning, Hunter Shurtleff on the fan show. We had a lot of interesting guests today. Billy Liucci came in a day early with Seth McKinney. We had Swope and McGee. Who doesn't love Swope and McGee, especially when they've got Olin sitting in that chair poking and prodding them. Guys, big week this week. What are we looking forward to?
Yeah, making a statement. It's a great week to make a statement.
Big game. You got the highlight game in the afternoon slot. And Nuno is going to say, now that's a Cuban sandwich.
I'm looking forward to an Ags win and a Longhorn loss.
There you go. Here's the rewind.
Michael Penix, got a fast start like so many quarterbacks are right now. He completed 29 of 40 passes for 450 yards. Count them, 450. He had 5 touchdowns in a 56-19 victory over Boise State.
Yep. He was
and I was asked why I would not include Connor with 5. I have to take caliber of competition into account, and I believe that Boise State's better than New Mexico. I believe that.
Yeah, look, and by the way, if Connor continues playing the way he played the other day, he'll be on everybody's list, not just Olin's.
Yeah, I got 12, 13, 14 weeks to go.
Yep. Number 4.
Drake May.
He is really good.
North Carolina. Completed 75% of his passes for 269 yards, 2 touchdowns, a rush for 25 yards. And he did it against South Carolina, 31-17 victory. And what have we been hearing all offseason about how good South Carolina was going to be? And he showed out, had a really strong game against an SEC opponent.
Yeah. Do you think South Carolina will find their way at some point this season?
I think South Carolina is going to be a 7-5, 6-6 team.
Which, had they not had the success that they had at the end of last year, I think people would have been like, oh, that's a good year.
Yeah,
but because they finished on
because they were
a
little bit perhaps overhyped.
Yeah.
They're going to look at 7-5 and say, oh, it was a disappointment, when in reality, you got a lot of great breaks last year that may not be duplicated this year.
Yep.
How do you not put, at number 3, I'll ask you, how do you not put Shadir Sanders?
You have to.
You have to.
At this point, you do. Travis, what's the receiver's name? Travis.
The guy who was,
Travis Hunter.
Yeah, he was.
I mean, you can put him on the list too with the kind of game he had. But yes, I understand Shador without a doubt. Was it 500 plus yards?
He had
510 yards.
510 yards, 4 touchdowns, 38 of 47, and that went over TCU.
All these guys are going to have. I mean, when I played with Mike, for example, it was great because you had, he would take some pressure off of me in the slot, and then they'd bring a guy in there, and it opened Mike up. And so it complements each other when you have more dudes out there, playmakers on the field. It just opens things up, and it basically comes down to man coverage, beat your guy, and you're going to eat. So
well, stay on there. Noah Thomas, his physicality. What stood out?
Man, that dude, he really surprised me. I know he was talked about this camp as being kind of the up-and-comer, but he came out. I love how he goes and catches the football. He's a good route runner. Seems like a smart kid, too.
Mm-hmm.
I'm excited about him, and I think he's got a bright future for sure.
Stephen, presentation-wise, did anything catch your – I know that it was very vanilla, but just the way it was presented, how clean and crisp it looked.
Yeah, no pre-snap penalties. Weren't finding the play clock. That was check.
Right.
Yeah.
And it just, you felt like you were consistently getting points. Like that's what the name of the game is on offense, score points. It's they did that consistently. I know there weren't as many drives with the way the clock works nowadays, but when they got the ball, they made it happen. They connected on third downs, and they stayed on the field. And I like a lot of people are talking about not being able to run the football, but New Mexico is bringing a lot of pressure. That's the name. They've been doing that for decades now.
I liked our tempo too.
Yeah.
I felt like we were in a groove for sure. Did you
feel
that?
Yeah, it felt like you were playing downhill, right?
For sure.
Like, and they were taking shots because, they had no one back there. It was like basically cover 0 for the majority of the game. And so that's what the defense gave them, and they took it. And I love that. They did exactly what you would hope they would do. Question is, if a team lines up in 22-man and they're like, hey, we're daring you to run the football, are we going to be able to do that?
And because Miami is talented. I mean, It's not like
you're playing some rinky-dink Miami program. I mean, they're better than they've been in the past in a long time, and so it's going to be a lot to that. And if they do it, I mean, it's going to be wild. I'd be very, very impressed. And on the, I don't know if you want to go on the opposite side of that, but I don't know. Give me something that shows that they can continue offensively like that without. I just want to see a nice, effective game. I don't have to see dominance. I don't have to see the blowout like we did against New Mexico. But if I go out and just see a continued, crispness and execution like we did last week, I don't care about the result of the game necessarily. I mean, I do. Trust me, I want to win. But if I see that kind of performance and that kind of execution, I'm like, man, it sucks. Whatever happened out there sucks, but we're going to be good. And then hopefully we just beat them and we don't have to talk like that. You know what I'm saying? Because I think that we can, and I know that we've got the guys to do it.
Billy, both scenarios, another explosive offensive game. They win comfortably. It kind of changes the way I think nationally people look at this team. Does it change the way you look at them?
Yeah. I mean, I said this a few weeks ago, is like what we're not factoring in is what if this offense truly is explosive? What if Bobby Petrino has a incredibly talented young quarterback to work with, and he's got a quarterback that can do it with his arm and his legs and with feel for the game. He's got a receiving core that includes, Evan, Nias, Noah, Moose, Jade. He's got some capable tight ends that we haven't utilized yet that can do stuff in the passing game. And he's got an offensive line that returns 5 starters.
This is the last time we're going to talk about this. I'm going to throw my 2 cents on that intro deal here, and here's my thoughts here.
We're going straight to intro.
No, it's fine. Look,
Light the match.
I don't listen to Kanye. In 2012, I didn't know what power was. You know what? I thought it was awesome, and I learned it in like 5 seconds, right? I picked it up, and organically over a decade, you had 100% fan participation. It was a great deal. It was getting to the level of Enter Sandman and Jump Around in Wisconsin. It had kind of grown to that because everybody did it. Students loved it, and it's fine now. It's fine. I'm just disappointed that a bureaucracy across the street, we'd get in this cancel culture where we nuked it, and I really don't know the reasons. But here's my what's on my mind, and this is random. You know how the graduate assistants and the team, they shield the play calling coming from the sidelines, right? Well, New Mexico's on the other sideline, right? Like they're facing our coaching boxes. Well, they had these grad students with this big yellow New Mexico flag, right? And they were trying to shield. I'm like, who are they shielding? Because is Olin Buchanan not getting your plays now? Because the press box is on the other side. There is no way you can shield plays from the visitor sideline at Texas A&M. I got the biggest kick out of that. They'd kind of go to the side, and they'd go this way. I'm
glad we started with him. Week 1, he talked about the intro music and a New Mexico flag.
Some of the most unique takes on the planet.
It is the fan show.
It is. All right, Matt, what you got, dude?
All right, I've got I'm very enthused, I'd say. I think we kind of all are with that offense. That offense looked fantastic. It looked good. I think everything boils down to this week, of course, is real time competition. This is big boy football. Miami is good. Miami is very good. They're a talented team, and I think this is going to be a real test. And how we're all feeling this time next week will be dependent on 100% on that offensive line.
All right, we're going to see if we can coordinate what the viewers are supposed to do here. Matt, they're supposed to
subscribe,
comment.
There we go. I mean, not even rehearse.
And share.
That was my job. See, I'm the one that screwed it up.
And click the notification bell so you never miss another TexAgs Rewind.
That's right.
And if you don't like us, share it with people you don't like. Just share it regardless.
And make fun of us. Yes.
Exactly.
That works for a lot of people.
It's all metrics.
It works for the algorithm. Doesn't care if you like us or hate us. It's going to put us in front of you. David, we'll be back tomorrow. That's the TexAgs Rewind.